My name is Calliope. I'm going to be taking care of you today. How are you doing? Okay, I thought that might be the case. So, what I'd like to do with you is really just jump in so that we can get hopefully some of that relief that you need from your headache. And what I'm going to do is turn the lights down a little lower. And if you would like, you are more than welcome to close your eyes. If that makes this feel much better. If it helps reduce the stimulation that is perhaps making your headache a little worse, more than welcome to close your eyes. Now, for this initial exam and treatment, I am going to need to be touching you. Is that okay with you? Wonderful. Now I'd like to start by mapping your headache. I want to see where exactly it is. If it radiates at all, and perhaps distinguish it from a migraine, maybe. So those are going to be two slightly different approaches to treatment. Now I'm going to feel around your head. Tell me when you feel any pain or tenderness, or when you feel the area that the headache is the worst when I hit that spot. Okay? So sometimes we can get some tension headaches in here, and this can feel like a too tight band around the head. Okay. So how is any of this? I'm using very light pressure. This is just to map where it is it's coming from. About over here. Okay, and what if right about here? Are you experiencing any sort of tension or pain in the temporomandibular joint area with the masseter muscle here? Very powerful muscle here. And what about the temporalis up here? This one's also used in mastication or chewing, like the masseter. Okay, and any tenderness at all around this area, this sphenoid bone, and over here. I see. And what about in the area of the frontal sinuses here? And what about more into the ethmoid sinuses? Okay, and the maxillary here. Any pain or tenderness? No, so not necessarily a sinus headache. That's good. Those ones can be very tricky. And now I'm going to be very careful here, but I'm just going to feel around the inside of the eyes. Sometimes people can get what's known as an ice pick headache right here. Okay, and right in here. Is it more concentrated on one side or the other? And if I come up here at the top of the head. Okay, what if I go back behind? Am I getting closer to the point of origin here? Now, I'd like to feel around and I want you to tell me if it radiates into any of the places that I am touching. I want to see how far that goes. Headaches can be caused by any number of things. We have dehydration, caffeine, hangovers, pinched nerves, stress, just being overstimulated. There's just a lot of different things that might have triggered this for you. Now I'm going to come back behind here and also into the neck. Any of these places. I see. So, if you'll give me just a moment, I want to jot down the attributes of your headache. Now, I'd also like to just check the lymph nodes of the upper body, see if there's any sort of swelling that might indicate if you are fighting something off, perhaps. See if that may contribute. And then if you do have any swelling, then we'll have to modify the treatment so that we're not disturbing any of that. So I'm going to start with the occipital lymph nodes at the back. This is where the neck meets the head and is about in the hairline area generally. And then we also have the post-auricular nodes behind the ears. Pre-auricular nodes, we have the parotid gland, submental and submandibular nodes. We have several cervical nodes and the supraclavicular above the clavicle. So we'll start with occipital. Just do a little bit of palpation here. And then sweep up to post-auricular behind the ears. And then pre-auricular in front of the ears. And underneath the jaw. Submental and submandibular. And then anterior cervical, posterior cervical, and the deep cervical chain, and supraclavicular, superior to the clavicle. Good. So there's not any swelling in any of those nodes. So I think we can continue just fine. Sometimes with certain kinds of headaches, generally migraine, we might find numbness or tingling or some sort of odd type of skin sensation in the general area of the headache. So I'd like to test for pressure and temperature and soft and sharp sensations, just to make sure there's not any odd type of sensations. So for the pressure, I'm going to be pressing in on an area of your face, and I just want you to tell me if you feel that pressure. Okay? Wonderful. So let's start right here. Right here. Here. Good. Right here. So we're feeling these pressures just fine. Good. Just checking around the areas that the trigeminal nerve governs. When this one gets pinched, one might have that sort of numbness in an area of their face. Good. I'm going to press into both sides at the same time, either around the ophthalmic branch by the eyes and temples, or the maxillary branch, which is more the cheekbones and the maxilla, and the mandibular branch, which is your jaw. So just tell me if both sides feel the same. If they feel like the same amount of pressure, same sensation. Ophthalmic here. Maxillary. Mandibular. Maxillary. Ophthalmic. Mandibular. And that all felt the same. Perfect. Now I'd like to test some temperature. So I have a couple of different tools here. I'm going to be using the Taylor reflex hammer, the very first kind of reflex hammer ever made. And I'm going to be using the Babinski hammer, which came much later. Now I'm just going to screw on the little top of the Babinski hammer. Just like that. And I'm going to use this metal area right in the middle. This is going to be for our cold sensation. Whereas the blade of our Taylor or tomahawk hammer is going to be used for the warm sensation. This metal heats up quite quickly and tends to retain heat well. So I'm going to keep this warm, and then we're going to also have the cold from the Babinski hammer. So if you could just let me know which one you feel. You feel hot, right? Okay, so we're going to just warm this up a little. So, can you feel that? Good. And what is that temperature? Cold. Can you feel this? And what is that temperature? It's warm. What about right here? That one's cold. And what about right here? That one is also cold. Good. And what temperature is this? Warm. Here. Warm. Cold. Cold. What about right here? Warm. 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 Good. Cold. Cold. And cold. Very good. Now I'd like to test the soft and sharp sensations, and this one is going to be done using a cotton bud and a toothpick here. I just need you to tell me whether you feel the soft or the sharp touch. I'm going to test these just on the jaw here so you can see what that's going to feel like. The sharp is not very sharp at all. It's just more a pointed point of pressure, concentrated point of pressure. And then we have our little soft cotton. So this is our soft. This is our sharp. Right? So just let me know whether you feel soft or sharp. What was that? Sharp. What was that? Sharp. Good. And that one? Soft. That one? Sharp. And this one? Soft. And this one? Soft. That one? Sharp. That one? Soft. Good. This one? Sharp. This one? Soft. This one? Soft. This one? Sharp. Wonderful. So I think that sensation is absolutely intact. And I'm going to have you keep your eyes closed, and I'm going to bring in some light. I just want you to tell me if you see the light, when the light comes in, that sort of thing. I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes closed because this is quite a bright light. One needs a bit of a bright light so that it can be seen behind the closed eyelids. So, just to make sure it's not going to overpower you or overwhelm you, just keep the eyes closed. Good. Now I'm just going to have you tell me when you see the light. Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. Yep. Excellent. Very good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Doing really, really well. Good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good. Now, if you could tell me the moment you see the light come into view, okay? Good. Yep. Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, you're pretty quick at this. Yep. Good. Excellent. Good. And now if you could tell me when the light goes away, when you no longer see it. Good. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. There we go. Good. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good. Uh-huh. Good. I think that gives us quite a bit to work with. So I'm just going to note down that we did not have any sort of change in sensations with the different types of stimulus, and you also did very well for the visual portion. So we're not dealing with any sort of vision loss on one side or the other. We can see that sometimes with certain headaches or migraines. I'd like to do just a little bit of massage here. So I want to look at the head, the face, and the neck. We can get a lot of headaches popping up because of tension or a pinched nerve, some sort of obstruction in how the muscle works or the nerves. So I just want to start right in here. And do let me know if any of this is too much, or if it's not enough, if you need more pressure, if that helps make it feel a little bit better. There. Letting the skin and the muscle become a little more fluid. Be very careful in the temple area, as that can be a bit of a sensitive spot. The bone there is rather sensitive, and definitely into the master muscle here. This one carries so much tension. A bit of kneading in here, petrissage. Just using some traditional Swedish massage techniques. We have the stroking, the effleurage rather, and the kneading into the muscle. That would be our petrissage. Swedish massage with French massage terms. Good. If you'd like, I would appreciate it if you did a couple of deep breaths with me, And what we're going to aim to do is completely empty the lungs of any stale air and fill them with fresh air. Just for a moment, you could take a deep breath in into the abdomen, and then a second inhale, and let that out. Slowly, within control, rest a moment, and then we're going to take another double inhale, deep breath in, and another, and out. And rest a moment. Take another deep breath in, and a little extra, and out. Good. You could go back to breathing normally. Just wanted to make sure we were getting all of that stale air out, to make sure we were getting enough oxygen in general. Sometimes when we don't think about it, we're actually breathing quite shallowly. That can also make a headache feel a lot worse if we're not getting enough oxygen. Good. Even in here, along the jaw. We can come in by the ears. And even we can come behind the ears, right around the mastoid process area. Ears can sometimes have a bit of tension as well. For a little while. One side at a time. I can really get my fingers in there, and that pressure is okay. Good. We'll just loosen everything up. Headache certainly has a good chance of feeling better just by having looser muscles and a little less stress on the body. Get into the scalp, and I'll just get a little closer so I can work the scalp. There's definitely quite a bit of tension here. So this is a good thing to reduce some of that. And even if we get back into the occipital area, right around the hairline where the head meets the neck, if this area gets pinched, that's where we can see some of that cranial nerve goofiness. This can be from poor posture or having a poor sleeping position, or a pillow that's not really that great for your anatomy. So this is a very important area right back here. Very important. Just working this area. Loosen it up. It really couldn't hurt for this area to be a lot looser so that the nerves have less to concentrate on, so that they're not firing with pain or discomfort. They're just working to get to the other signals. And into the neck. The trapezius muscle here. This one can be one of those that contributes greatly to headaches. This muscle loves getting knotted up, and it loves to give you all sorts of signals its nerves love to fire. So this is an excellent area to loosen up. Let's work with one side a little deeper. Other side a little deeper. Just a little bit of kneading, just making space for everything. So it's not all stuck together, the fascia can flow a bit better. It's not glued to everything else. Get some blood flow in here. The lymph can flow better. Just making space. Making space for everything. There. And how is this pressure? Okay, we could go a little deeper. Yeah, this area can take a lot more pressure, much less delicate. It's a workhorse, this area is. Goes through a lot, does a lot. Can take quite a bit. And just working slowly downwards. Maybe a bit of squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Let's do that. Maybe squeeze and release. Squeeze. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze. There. Good. And just let the hands come off. So we had massaged all around the face, the head, the back of the head, the neck, and the upper trapezius area. So how do these areas feel now? Have you found any sort of relief of your symptoms? Mm-hmm. It's wonderful to hear. Now, is there anything else that I can do for you to help your symptoms? Okay. Well, I was very honored to work with you today. You were an excellent patient, and I hope that the rest of this headache abates quite quickly and that it doesn't come back. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you. Goodbye now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I create primarily medical, alternative medicine / pseudoscience, and personal attention ASMR roleplays. If you want to check out a specific category of my videos, my channel playlists have everything from sci-fi to historical to even fantasy videos. If you want to support my work, consider checking out my Patreon profile in the description box, where I offer early access to videos, exclusive content,